Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another film review. Tonight we're looking at a modern horror film called Cobweb. Now this has been on my radar for a while. I remember seeing trailers for it before it came out in the cinema, and now it's been out a little while on Blu-ray. The lad picked it up and he really enjoyed it, and he told me, "Dad, you got to pick it up. It's right up your street." So I did, I picked it up. And this is the film story. It revolved around a young boy called Peter. And he's a very troubled young lad, as he seems to be bullied at school and at home. He's come from a home with a very confused parents. And as the story evolves, that their sort of sadistic and mean ways become undone, and we see what actually his parents are. And he's made a friend of a young I don't know how to describe it, but he hears noises at night. He taps on the wall and it taps back, and he's getting very sort of like scared, and then this voice starts talking to him through his wall at home, and it's a voice of a young sort of girl, and she's sort of telling him to stick up for himself and this sort of thing. And this sort of little bit reminds me a little bit of Let the Right One In, that same sort of like premise, where you've got like someone telling the other person to stand up for himself. Anyway, he does, and he goes to his bully, because his bully's been bullying him at school and picking on him and breaking his pumpkins, all based around a sort of Halloween time. And he's very upset, and he goes and he pushes this young lad down the stairs and breaks both his legs. And all this sort of thing has come to the attention of his young substitute teacher, who's really concerned about him and feel there's something wrong. She takes, because he draws this picture at school, and it's like a really darkened room. Sorry about this, guys. I seem to be having a bit of a problem with my phone camera. It keeps cutting out. I forgot where I was. Yeah, and he's got this substitute teacher that seems to be very concerned about him, and she pays a visit to his house and meets his mother and decides that his mother's not the full ticket, and she's not, neither his father. And anyway, so she's very concerned about him. Anyway, after this incident at school, when he pushes the lad down the stairs and breaks the lad's legs, he gets expelled from school, and his parents decide to ground him and punish him, and they put him in the basement. They lock him in there in the basement. I don't know how long for. It looks like quite a while. And he's down there with no food, no bedding, nothing. He's just stuck down there with like a pallet with like cement on it. And he sees these chains in the cellar, and he moves the pallet out of the way, and there's like this grated floor, and he sees a teddy bear down there. So something strange been going on in this house, which we think his parents are involved. Anyway, his teacher comes back to him with his last sort of papers to give it to them, because he's been expelled, and she wants to see him, and the father says, no, you can't. And he's walking around really suspiciously with like a hammer in his hand, and she feels very unsafe and insecure. And then they both start arguing, because the mother starts getting defensive and thinking that she's telling him that she's a bad mother and all this. And so the teacher decides to leave, but she can hear banging coming from the cellar, and the dad says, oh, it's a washing machine. Anyway, so she scoodles off, and they bring their son back out of the cellar, and he apologizes for his behavior, and they tell him how they're only doing it because they love him so much. Anyway, he goes back to his bedroom after being allowed to, and he starts talking to the girl in the wall again. and he opens the wallpaper and there's a hole in the wall, and he looks through it and he sees an eye looking at him, and this girl tells him that his time is coming and all this sort of thing, and that there's a hidden room in the house behind the clock that he needs to open so she can be freed out from the wall. And he's getting a bit terrified by this, and it's all this sort of going on. And then there's another backstory of a girl in the street gone missing a year ago in the street, and sort of like and was never sort of like found. So what is going on? Is the girl the same girl that's gone missing, or is this some different entity? Well, who is this in the wall? What is going to happen to Peter? Is he going to come out from this sort of very, very horrible existence he's living by being bullied at school and these deranged parents? And so is he going to come up, and is his teacher going to help? You need to watch it and find out. What do I think of Cobweb? I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic horror film. It was different to any other sort of film out there at the moment. It does touch a little bit similar to Let the Right One in many ways, but not in a vampire way. But there's some sort of element of a child being bullied, made another new friend, and all this sort of thing sort of going on. And what is up with the parents? You need to really watch it and find out what's going on. The pluses of the edition: it looks amazing. It looks really, really cool. Beautiful, well shot film, and a really, really intense sort of film. It really grabs you, and you start really feeling for this boy, and you really want to find out what on earth is going on. Is this the family? Is it the boy? You know, and so you're watching and watching and watching to the climatic end, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to spoil it, but I will recommend you go and watch it if if there's something a little bit different. It's a really cool horror film. Really, really enjoyed it. I've got to apologise for a few cuts on this video. My phone's been playing up tonight. I don't know if it's overheated or what, but it's been playing up. So I can only apologise. It films for a couple of minutes and then it cuts. So I'm sorry if the video's a little bit everywhere. Hopefully it will be okay for the next one. But until then, check out some horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man v Film, Irish Designs, Pizzlewell. I'm Ice Lord, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House. And a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.